I remember doing a funeral for a family in which the elderly woman who had died had been married to this husband for 64 years. The surviving husband, whom I spoke with in the home prior to the funeral, was very hard of hearing though. And so as I was delivering my message during the funeral service, the elderly widower would often lean over to his son, sitting next to him in the very front row, and would loudly ask him questions throughout my message, such as, "What did he say?" And then a few minutes later, "Is he talking about your mom?" And at every question, the audience would smile and giggle slightly, and I would move on, trying to speak a little louder each time. And then about halfway through my message, the entire audience burst out into laughter when he turned to his son once again and asked, "Is he about done?" And at that point, I just relented. I joined in the laughter. I decided to close in prayer, a quick prayer. But have you ever been in a relationship where you have thought that what you have to say is just not being heard? I read an article years ago about this headline, that everybody seems to be talking, but is anybody listening? And the article was discussing the point that there seems to be a lot of opportunities for people to talk about the issues at hand, from politics to religion, and from arts to athletics, and from civil rights to gun rights, and certainly let's don't forget about global warming. But everybody seems to have an opinion and a desire to express it. But is anybody listening? A lot of people are talking, and they're taking opportunities to speak out, I think, but I wonder how many people are actually listening. People think that they're listening, but maybe they're only actually hearing what another person is saying. Some may be hard of hearing, like my widower friend, but others, I think, are hard of listening. So why is it so challenging for us to listen? Here are some potential problems that we're going to discuss in this course that I want to talk about. Number one, people have developed, I think, some poor speaking habits that include maybe not even knowing what they don't know about themselves. So there's a lack of self-awareness. And then the language they choose to use is not very congruent or consistent. And then a lot of times they're being critical and blaming. And then number two, there's, I think, poor listening habits that also include hearing the words that people use but not really listening to the heart, or maybe being defensive or being impatient, wanting to be understood before understanding the person, a lack of warmth, lack of empathy, a lack of respect. And then finally, we're going to touch on this idea that sometimes we just have a lack of gratitude, because happiness in relationships comes from a spirit of gratitude. So I want to take time now for you. I want you to take time to evaluate your personal communication strengths.